For all the cries about censorship and fascism, the fact of the matter is that the decision to cancel Jimmy Kimmel, for the time being at any rate, came from Bob Iger personally. He could have made Kimmel apologize, or read out a legal statement like they do on The View, and that would have been the end of it. Or failing that, he could have moved the show to Hulu or Disney Plus, where it would no longer be subject to the anti-hoax regulations it is subject to right now. Iger chose the path of cancellation though, and amongst the Hollywood elite, that has created a level of ire and indignation leaps and bounds beyond what the assassination of Charlie Kirk ever did. And now, even the actors in Disney employ, as well as the very modern audience they've tried to win over, are rioting. Let's look at the reactions.
And if you're looking for real movies, perhaps you're in for a treat.
New movies come out in the next 5 years. And it's opened in all major markets. There's been out 10 weeks already. And in that time, it has only managed to go through.
First off, let's begin with the defense of Jimmy Kimmel, because it is kind of difficult to defend someone who is openly gaslighting everyone and trying to sell his audience on the idea that the individual who shot Charlie Kirk was somehow MAGA, and not someone with a major left-wing online presence in a committed relationship with a trans furry boyfriend. So, in order to whitewash Kimmel, as it were, the Hollywood Reporter tried to quibble and explain away his words in the piece. Jimmy Kimmel did not say exactly what you think he said. No, as we're about to see here, he pretty much did, but the Hollywood establishment is about to let their followers know how to reframe it so they can defend it, and die on the Jimmy Kimmel hill. The piece reads, Jimmy Kimmel's comment about Charlie Kirk's shooting suspect Tyler Robinson has sparked a cascading series of dramatic and chilling events that have resulted in Disney suspending Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. But many, if not most, are interpreting the comment in a way that its phrasing does not entirely support, entirely being the operative word. In other words, with enough vocabulary tricks and a lot of goodwill, there is a way to read something mitigating into this. In much the same way a new generation of token scholars were able to read trans allegories straight from a Biden-era university campus into the original Lord of the Rings text. It's quite incredible what you might find if you squint and then look for it, which is what they've done here. The piece reads, let's look at his vital quote again. We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. The overwhelming read on this has been, Jimmy Kimmel said, or at least strongly suggested, that Robinson was MAGA. That's been the contention of countless conservatives and plenty of not-so-conservatives. And the facts about Robinson released by authorities so far suggest the suspect was not, in fact, MAGA. According to the New York Times, his mother told prosecutors that her son had recently shifted toward the political left and had become more pro-gay and trans rights oriented, among other details about the suspect. But, says the Hollywood Reporter, let's take a close look at this section. The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. As part of a sentence, this is so blurry that your eyes cross trying to get it. Actually, I think what the Hollywood Reporter means is that they've been reading it over and over and over again, trying to find some excuse, so much that their eyes now cross. And here's what they found. Kimmel doesn't actually say this kid was one of them. You could read it a different way. Robinson wasn't MAGA, and therefore MAGA is out there trying to characterize him as something else. Of course, the Hollywood Reporter can't even say that with a straight face, because jumping forward a bit, the piece continues. That said, it's also reasonable to read the comment the way most are taking it. The snarky tone, the use of desperately. Kimmel's well-established anti-MAGA stance. The debate around the killer's motives, which have seen others on the left attempt to insist he's a conservative. All this context makes it natural to assume Kimmel simply meant, hey, we all know this kid is MAGA, and now MAGA is out there trying to convince everyone he isn't. That was, admittedly, the whole vibe, and indeed how The Hollywood Reporter took it. And even so, they wrote this whole joke of a piece, which only serves to illustrate the lengths the Hollywood establishment is willing to go to in order to paint Jimmy Kimmel as a martyr for free speech, and not a paid influencer for the Democrat Party whose tirade could be found to fall in under the hoax category, which in turn would necessitate a reaction from Disney. And that's a read which is much closer to reality than this distortion of it from The Hollywood Reporter. And the piece is pointless anyway, because no matter how abhorrent or gaslighting Kimmel's words were, his ideological peers will rush to his defense, as this is a great way to signal some virtue. Perhaps most noteworthy here is Tatiana Maslany of the spectacular failure that was Marvel's She-Hulk for Disney Plus fame. Cosmic Book News did a write-up on this, which reads, She-Hulk actress Tatiana Maslany has entered the controversy over Disney and ABC's decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel, posting to her Instagram story urging fans to cancel your Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN subscriptions. That's pretty extreme for someone who used to be under Disney employ, and according to some scoopers still is, as she allegedly has some presence in some upcoming Avengers film. Calling for such a boycott against that backdrop has to be a violation of some contract, you would think, yet it isn't the first time she's done this. The piece continues, Maslany has a track record of blasting Disney leadership. In the summer of 2023, she attacked CEO Bob Iger over his strike comments, calling him completely out of touch with the workers who make Disney shows possible. And those workers are in turn completely out of touch with the audience, but that's neither here nor there. She accused the company of exploiting crews, cast, and writers, saying executives hoarded wealth while those on the ground were taken advantage of. Now, that may very well be the case. I'm not saying it isn't, nor am I defending that practice. But as a general thing, attacking senior management that way isn't likely to endear the one doing it to either current or potential future employers. But of course, the rumors could be wrong. Maybe Maslany knows that she is done as She-Hulk anyway, because that series had no viewers and the few who did see it hated it. So this might be a case of, well, she's got nothing to lose anyway, so might as well score some virtue brownie points. Yet many share her overall sentiment, not just in Hollywood, but among the very young, liberal audience that Disney has gone out of their way to cater to, at the expense of their built-in family audience. Cosmic Book News also went over posts from the perpetually online, progressive young viewers, and clearly all the efforts the company has done to win this modern audience over for a decade now was forgotten in an instant. Disney failed this one ideological purity test, and now they must pay the price. Say the representatives of the few members of the modern audience that actually does exist. It's almost as if Disney have catered to the wrong audience, and now they're paying the price for that. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments.